Everybody, welcome back to another edition of VCTV with your host, Kyle Ellicott. Today, we are going to continue the topic that we speak about quite often here on VCTV, and that is the future of finance, and more specifically, decentralized finance as well. We've got some outstanding guests of the VCTV family who will be joining us about how decentralized finance is impacting the future of banking. As we had Coinbase recently announce the direct deposit feature for US customers and their paychecks, and the ability to invest as little or as much as you would like of your paycheck into the service. We also have many other areas of this industry continue to expand. We also have Crypto.com now looking to be a top neobank in the APAC region, according to sources as well, and much more that we are going to continue to cover today. But before we jump in, a big thank you to the Token team, to Hasmik and Maria for making today's episode possible. Welcome everyone to today's panel. Matthew, a short little introduction today kicking us off, and background for everybody who may not know you.
Well, I'm Matthew Lamel, based in Silicon Valley. I'm the managing partner of Blockchain Co-Investors. We're the leading blockchain venture fund of funds, investors in 30 blockchain VCs and about 300 or more blockchain companies and projects. And in terms of this particular topic, my life has been spent in financial services working on the digitalization of many aspects. And so it's very interesting to see us moving into this new phase. Back to you, Carl.
Absolutely. A very exciting phase it is thus far as it continues to evolve further and further. Eugene, welcome to the show. A little introduction and background for everyone who may not know you.
Thank you, Kyle. So I'm a co-founder of Kaizen Finance, and our goal is to make possible create for any company tokenize their economy, tokenize their business. So even without knowing coding, how to code, they could secure, launch their tokens, create their staking, create all DeFi mechanism for their economy. So we are positioning ourselves like a platform for tokenization. And yeah, it's very interesting subject because we believe that DeFi is the future and they can replace banking or even migrate banking services to DeFi.
Wonderful. Can't wait to talk about that, the replacement of banking by DeFi. We'll be right back with you on that in just a moment, Eugene. Adrian, welcome back to the show. A little intro, a little background, please.
Hello, Kyle. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for having me here again in the VCTV La Token family metaverse, or familyverse, right? I'm Edwin Niculescu, serial entrepreneur and investor. I'm involved with the Cloudcoin Consortium. Cloudcoin is a post-blockchain digital currency. Cloudcoin Finance, which is a DeFi project with both blockchain and post-blockchain technology. The decentralized autonomous organization DAO1. And also I'm building the news and education portal coincruncher.com. Also, I have other roles and board membership slots, not to mention all of them here. I believe that these big exchanges are somehow becoming the new banks. And it's a very, very exciting topic. Very exciting.
Absolutely. A very exciting topic indeed. Last but not least, Alexis, welcome back to the show. A little intro and background, please.
Yeah, thanks. Alex Sheikh, Supercap Digital Partner, and also DLT Capital, which we have done and raised 1 billion euros in DLT-related projects. We have dealt with 50 projects up to date.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Again, very exciting topic today, DeFi and the future of banking. Eugene, I want to kick it off with you. I mean, you mentioned something in your introduction that you and your team see decentralized finance potentially replacing banking or even taking some of its services away from the traditional that we know and improving those. Kind of explain us that vision and how that could come about as decentralized finance is starting to mature here in 2021.
We see this process right now because if before you should if you want to borrow something, right, you need to go to the bank. And right now, it's enough platforms on the DeFi space to do it right away. So they basically this already mainstream. It's not like some future projections. But what is happening right now is that when company or group of the people can create own product, own service to propose the same banking services. For example, right now, on last week, we one of the project who use Kaizen Finance platform to launch their tokens is Well.Money. They propose to use credit cards to pay in any shop or paying expenses, and big banks, Mastercard, Visa wants to partner with them. So it shows that crypto companies very attractive for traditional banks. So they see future in their future, basically in the crypto space and DeFi space. And this is only small example. We have other examples. Company who use our platform to create own staking or mechanism of staking stable coins, where they use these pools to fund their business. So without selling their tokens, but using this DeFi mechanic to get banking services basically for their business.
Interesting. So beyond tokenization, the power of something like staking and being able to earn rewards for tokens or for digital assets that may be locked away. Just to add a little context for those audience members who may not be aware of it, this is something you see as revenue potential for companies and those who may not be in that space as well. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very, very exciting. Matthew, I want to come to you next. Thank you, Eugene. Anything to add on to that? But more importantly, I do have a question around some of these big headlines and what they mean. But anything to add on to Eugene and how he and his team are seeing, along with yourself, DeFi replacing potentially banking solutions in the next coming decades?
Yes, so on this one, I'm probably going to be a little bit more in the middle than normal. I'm normally very optimistic about what we're doing with blockchain and new technology. I certainly agree with Eugene that we can emulate pretty much any banking product in a smart contract, because banking products are just numbers. And so those numbers, cash flows, upfront payments, etc., returns can be put into a smart contract. My concern about DeFi is more that there's other aspects of financial services that are very hard to put into a smart contract. And those are things such as customer service and support and security and recovering from problems that you may experience. And I think that, for DeFi to be really mainstream, at least here in countries like America, where we have high degrees of customer service in the banking industry, it's going to be a challenge. So I'm very excited by the concept of DeFi. I think peer-to-peer makes a lot of sense, especially in many countries around the world where the banking system is not well developed. But I do have concerns, and particularly around the ability to help people recover from challenges they may experience, hacks, scams, loss of keys, things like that. And, when you self-custody, those issues are on you and difficult to recover from. But anyhow, back to you, Carl.
No, it's a good point. I mean, the security and the trust in that custody solution is quite a task to take on for anybody at this point right now. And Matthew, I want to come back around this news from Coinbase. Again, enabling direct deposits for paychecks among their US users, allowing them to deposit as much as or as little of their paycheck with no fee into services, helping to bring more into the digital asset world. What's the impact that something like this has on the future of banking and decentralized finance as well. I'm throwing a curveball. I know. I apologize, but this was a big headline. I wanted to get your
well. So then we need to talk about what we mean by DeFi, because most of Coinbase is not DeFi; it's CeFi. It's centralized finance, and I believe that this direct deposit offering is also a centralized finance offering for Coinbase. The portion of Coinbase that's a bit more like DeFi is the Coinbase wallet, and I think for those people who are using the Coinbase wallet, if you've had any issues or challenges, you've suffered badly, because it's almost impossible to get any support for Coinbase wallet. So that's really what I was talking about. So if you want to talk about CeFi and Coinbase's CeFi, then yes, it's very exciting that they're adding on additional offerings. And I'm a big believer that we will see hybrid digital wallets with all banking services embedded in them, very much like what we see in China with Alipay and WePay mobile apps, which have a lot of different products, insurance, investments, lending, and so on embedded in them. We don't tend to see that so much in the West. We have purpose-built wallets. So you go to your payments wallet, you go to your crypto wallet, you go to your insurance product, and you don't have everything in one wallet, so and one mobile app. So I think that will come, but I view Coinbase as really CeFi, and if we're going to talk DeFi, I think we're talking about a very different world.
I appreciate that. Thank you. That's the exact opinion I was looking for right there. That was perfect. Thank you, Matthew. It was absolutely great. Adrian, coming down to you next. Matthew mentioned the word China. China recently, for the umpteenth time, banned crypto, but this time it seems to be a slightly different path than we've seen in the past, because we also had some regulations come down around the mining industry earlier this summer as well. But now we've got a number of headlines coming out around China's transition of the crypto industry and looking at it as to the digital yuan and what they plan to do from that standpoint. How do those changes that we've been speaking about on VCTV around China and the APAC region maybe impact the future of decentralized finance on a global level?
Probably the focus will change into other demographics. I don't. With China all the time are these things appearing in a recurring manner.
Sorry, Adrian, we may have lost you there. Alexis, I want to come to you next and just get your opinion. I mean, making investments throughout this space and looking at both finance and traditional and new. How is your perspective shifting around the future of finance?
Yeah.
How does it look around the future of finance? Yep.
Yeah. What we can see is that the main adoption will come from the investment firms, financial services, but there's still, as Matthew said, there's a lot of regulations and also infrastructure that needs to be built until they actually can go all in into the DeFi space. So this is what's happening now.
Absolutely. And when we look at decentralized finance in the future of banking as investors, where are we looking at as areas of opportunity that either need to be focused on or need to start building as well? So Adrian, coming back to you, areas of opportunity as an investor that you're looking at for decentralized finance that are necessary to help in the future of banking, whether that's to Eugene's point of potentially replacing some of the banking industry or helping to offset some of those services. Where are you looking, Adrian?
Implement I want to refer also, because it's perfect to complement the previous question. What Coinbase is doing, they are creating new habits. When you receive your money in a crypto exchange, it's very easy to start investing. If you have a different account, it will be a little more complicated to do that. And the main challenge with DeFi, and also a great opportunity, people are not ready to become their own banks, because this is the thesis of DeFi. People to become their own banks. but people are not ready. Most of them are not educated, and it's very complicated for them to do it. So probably banks or exchanges like Coinbase will somehow create new habits for people, will make them to act differently, and I believe this is a huge opportunity for startups to translate DeFi, blockchain, and other things for the regular people, and influencing companies like Coinbase to create new habits, so people to adopt these technologies and these ways of becoming their own banks. Huge opportunities here.
It's a very, very good point. Fabio, to you, same question. Opportunities that you're looking at as an investor around that DeFi industry right now for bets to be made. Fabio, we'll come back to you. Alexis, to you, same question. Areas of opportunity that you're looking at as an investor for the decentralized finance industry.
The trends are in DeFi infrastructure again. Crypto custodians have raised large funds. They have also made some strategic investments and have also been acquired. You can see that Coinbase custodies have over 90 billion in US dollars alone.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen also NYDIG making a ton of bets and investments in this space as well. From the custody perspective, we see Anchorage moving along in terms of becoming a regulated crypto bank in the state of Georgia, and others making similar moves as well. Eugene, coming back to you, similar question, looking at that DeFi to CeFi transition or vice versa and the future of banking, where are some of the opportunities that you, your team, and otherwise are looking at investing and are necessary for decentralized finance to make this next phase change, as we're coming from phase 0, maybe 0.5, Matthew may correct me on that, going into phase 1? What is the next pieces that we need to be investing in and paying attention to? Eugene, we have you on mute there. Apologies.
Yes, we saw an interesting transition where community said, okay, we don't want banks, right? Let's use a crypto. And we got centralized exchange, which actually not much different from the banks, right? It's the same centralization, the same control from governments as well. And then next stage is DeFi services, which kind of decentralized. Of course, it's we can discuss about their independence, but in general, every company, every user can create own pools, liquidity pools, create own staking, create some yield farming, all this stuff. And in this case, every project, every company receive additional tools to provide own services or uses services for their business or their business model. It is not possible in a classical banking system. You cannot create your for your business, create a credit center and provide deposits, provide borrowing money. So you need pass so many stages to get on this level where is it possible in DeFi in several clicks, right? And as soon as we trying to automate these processes and open these to businesses, to companies, we will see next stages, whereas this combination of financial tools will be grouped with new products. So you see it every day, new websites who try and accumulate, right, different services, show new opportunity. Then someone propose new tool, and you see new or some website who trying to accumulate and show you different opportunities and use this next steps. So, but in general, we move to total decentralization, and at least everyone trying to do so.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of new websites, we've got websites out there where you can write content right onto and stored on a blockchain, but also get and earn rewards for reading that content, for contributing that content, for staking, to your previous point as well. We also have social and creator or community tokens that are being put out there around helping to contribute to various projects, helping to change the methodology and the thinking around fan engagement as well. So tons of opportunity, and we haven't even touched back on play to earn, which we spoke last week with Matthew, Alexis, and Adrian on around gaming as well, and how that plays a role, not even including the workplace and how decentralized finance maybe plays a role into that. So Matthew, that coming to you next, kind of teeing you up on a few of those areas we've spoken about in the past. Where do you see opportunities of investment around decentralized finance moving into this next phase?
Yeah. So obviously I started on a cautionary note. The opportunity is huge. So if you just look through most financial products, they are costly, time-consuming, and difficult to work with. So whether it be at one extreme, something simple like transferring money across borders to a family member, if I try and send $100 to Eugene from the US and we have to change currencies maybe once, that $100 will be absorbed, at least $25 or $30 may go in fees, which is ridiculous. And it will probably take me a week to do it with all the check-ins. At the other extreme, at least in America, every time someone buys a house, they lose about 7 or 8% of the value of the house in brokerage fees, transaction fees, and so on. And it'll take them at least 30 and probably more like 60 days to close, and a huge amount of paperwork and notaries and signings and so on. So all of this can be collapsed down into almost instantaneous, very low cost peer-to-peer transactions. And so we believe that across all financial products, there's huge opportunity. And so then the question is, do you attack it with CeFi or DeFi or both? And I think on a global scale, the answer is definitely both. In some marketplaces, CeFi may be the better choice because we're highly regulated, and that's not going to go away. In other geographies, DeFi can really stand up and get to work and may be less regulated in those places. So I would say there's no area of financial services that couldn't be the subject of DeFi. And it's really very much around what the user wants. But the simple transactions that are monetary related, so buy some crypto, convert some, send it to someone else, these are obviously the places to begin, because the really complicated transactions like buy a house, which is a physical asset, and own it, and so on, those require a lot of parties, a lot of players to play, and so those are much harder to disrupt. Plus, obviously, the regulators have a physical asset to attach to, whereas money is more fungible. So I don't know. Those are some thoughts. I certainly don't have the answers, Kyle, but that's sort of where my mind is.
I think those are great from everybody. I mean, right now we all don't have the answers. This is still the beginning of something very transformative. Matthew, you've mentioned this on previous episodes of VCTV. This is a decades-long transition and movement that we're in, and we're just in the very, very beginnings of this as well. I mean, we've noted before as well, in May 2020, we were just under $1 billion in TVL, total value locked throughout DeFi protocols. Here we are now in 2021, about somewhere between 12 and 18 months later, and we've touched almost $100 billion. To see that kind of movement and momentum so quickly is unheard of in the past, but it is something that is noted to be paid attention to, and it will continue to accelerate. So we're just in the beginnings. We've got about $2 trillion in digital assets as a market cap as well. So again, all the beginnings of something very exciting. Adrian, closing thoughts, where can you be found online as we come to wrap?
I can be found on LinkedIn. That one is my main hub of communication. The thing is, I believe that the banks will will be here for a while. I was recently in a bank, so there was so much paperwork to put some money in and to create an insurance contract. It was like crazy, but I had to do it that way. So I said, gosh, look what a difference. And as Matthew said, when you are sending money, anybody who is not in crypto can try sending $1,000 using USDT and TRX network, and we'll see that will cost like $1, and the money will arrive in few minutes anywhere in the world, even if it's Sunday midnight. This is a huge paradigm shift, huge disruptor. Anybody can see it. It's not science fiction. It was science fiction a few years ago. So my advice is for everybody to dip the toes into this market and to start learning like crazy about it, because this is the future. It's like gravitation, like gravity. This thing will drop. It's the gravity. This is the future. So start learning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adrian. Alexis, to you, closing thought, where can you be found? Oh, Alexis, you happen to be on mute there.
Now I'm unmuted. Yeah, I can be found on LinkedIn and on supercap.io and also on dltcapital.com. Final thoughts. We can see that there's a major draw from big money players in recent times into the crypto market. We see that hedge fund managers that represents $180 billion in assets are looking to invest in crypto. So it's looking good.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Alexis. Eugene, a quick closing thought. Where can you be found as well?
Yeah, I'm available in all social networks, and you may just email me. But yeah, I would like to be so positive in DeFi, but at the same time, center of accumulation of is Ethereum right now, and the price of gas is so high there that we have a client who tried to claim $200 and pay $300 for that. And in DeFi, because it's based on smart contracts and it's heavy smart contracts, it's very, very sometimes more expensive, much more expensive than bank services. So a lot of things we have to fix. A lot of things should be, changed or even building in other way. But in general, yes, it's a right direction. And I agree as well that banks can stay, centralized exchanges can stay. DeFi might give you just an option, right? And you choose what is the option best for you.
Thank you, Eugene. Matthew, close us out. Closing thoughts. Where can you be found online?
So blockchaincoinvestors.com is where we are. We are heavily investing into DeFi. So I just want to make that clear. We do believe in this as the future of finance for many people around the world. But the world's a very big place. And that means that not everything fits for everyone everywhere at the same time. And so we believe DeFi will have a lot of traction across all areas of financial services, but we also believe that there's a role for CeFi. And in some marketplaces, unfortunately or fortunately, the model will be hard to gain traction, the DeFi model. So anyhow, innovation, the world's a big place and the future will certainly be different. And we'd love to carry the dialogue on. And I learn every time listening to Evgeny and Alexis and Adrian. So it's always very great to participate. Thank you, Carl.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Matthew, Eugene, Adrian, Alexis. I really appreciate everyone's thoughts and insights as well today here on DeFi and the future of banking. To our audience, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what you heard, click like, share, and subscribe on today's episode. Also, please do reach out to each and every one of our investors, myself included. We'd all love to hear from you. But when you do, please add context, where you heard us, where you met us, and what you would like to continue the conversation about as well. With that, everyone have a wonderful day. A big thank you to the Token team, to Hasmik and Maria for making today's episode possible. Until next time, everyone, take care and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you.